Hello, everyone. Oh, bit of a rough start to the morning. Story time, and I would like to read to you Yoshi, the Stonecutter. Right, let's get straight into this. Okay. Long ago, in the mountains of Japan, there lived a stonecutter called Yoshi. He was a poor man with a bent back and hard hands from cutting stone. I want to pay attention to the expressions on the faces, so he's not too pleased. People said a spirit lived in the mountains where Yoshi worked. They said it granted wishes, but Yoshi had never seen the spirit. One day, Yoshi took some stone to a rich man's house. Yoshi loved the rich man's beautiful home, his silk clothes, and his clean, soft hands. So he's pleased. But we're going to find out that's more of a look of envy, really. Oh, I wish I could be a rich man, whispered Yoshi. A cool wind blew, and the mountain spirit appeared. It whispered, Your wish is granted, Yoshi. A rich man you shall now be. When Yoshi got home, his hut had become When Yoshi got home, his hut had become a fine house. And now he looks rather pleased. Yoshi was rich. He put away his tools and rested, looking out of the window. The day grew hot. Yoshi saw a prince ride by. Servants fanned the prince to cool him and shaded him with golden umbrellas. I wish I could be a prince, said Yoshi. His expression, he's kind of intrigued. The spirit said, Your wish is granted, Yoshi. A prince you now shall be. Now Yoshi was a prince, riding in a carriage with servants around him. Prince Yoshi smiled as he sheltered from the sun under golden umbrellas. His servant gave him water in a jeweled cup, and Yoshi happily sipped it. So he's living the high life. Happy before, now kind of not so happy. Prince Yoshi soon felt very hot. Even the umbrellas didn't help. When he splashed water on his skin, the hot sun soon dried it up. The sun is more powerful than me, muttered Yoshi. I wish I could be the sun. The spirit spoke again. Your wish is granted, Yoshi. The sun you now shall be. Oh, did I? I think there's some words there. It's hard to fit this all in here. Yoshi felt himself rise into the sky and start to shine. He really was the sun. He sent his powerful rays down to earth. Yoshi shone harder. He made people sweat and burn their skin. He dried out the land and made the grass wither. Everything could feel his power. He looks kind of happy, but now not so happy. One day, Yoshi the sun could not see the ground. A cloud was in his way. He shone with all his might, but the cloud would not go. Can a cloud blot out my power? Cried Yoshi. Then I wish I could be a cloud. Your wish is granted, Yoshi. A cloud you now shall be, replied the spirit. back to being happy again. Yoshi became a big, thick grey cloud. He shut out the sun's heat and shaded the people. He cooled the land, and then he began to rain. Yoshi's rain made streams and rivers flow and made puddles on the ground. The grass soon turned green again, and the crops began to grow. Yoshi the cloud rained harder and harder. In the mountains, the little streams became great waterfalls. Rivers overflowed and drowned the crops. The flood water came rushing down roads. The flood water came rushing down roads and poured into villages. Only the huge rocks on the mountain stood firm and would not move. And you can see with the powers and abilities, what seems good at first not only has limitations and drawbacks, but when it's not held with responsibility, it can cause a lot of damage. So with great power comes great responsibility. Rocks are more powerful than clouds, grumbled Yoshi. I wish I could be a rock. The spirit replied, Your wish is granted, Yoshi. A rock you now shall be. And again, he thinks he's happy. Now Yoshi was a rock, huge, hard, and solid. He did not fear the sun or the rain. Nothing can be stronger than me, he boasted. Then Yoshi the rock felt tools cutting into him. A stonecutter is stronger than me, said Yoshi. I wish I could be a man again. The mountain spirit smiled. Your wish is granted, Yoshi. A man you now shall be. Yoshi the stonecutter picked up his tools and started to work. His back was bent and he was poor, but now he was happy. And there we are. So I thought that was a pretty nice tale, and I've made a few little notes to cover here to help explain this further for us. So we can see that there's always something that can outperform what we think is the best. Perhaps one could argue God is the ultimate. But as we saw from Yoshi trying to prove, nothing is perfect. And if a man decided to take his destiny into his own hands, I don't know if God would have to step aside to allow him his free will. And we see that, I've already mentioned that the ambitions and these wanting to look beyond yourself doesn't necessarily achieve the desired result. So what may seem to be good at the time has consequences. An example of that that comes to mind would be something like maybe people who have degrees, they go through university to get their doctorates and things like that, and they miss out on the more humble experiences of life, such as being a mother. So overall, we see a kind of cycle, a return. Yoshi already had what he ultimately wanted all along. So this journey taught him how to appreciate who he really was or is. And even having his bad back and hard hands, he was poor again. He can now appreciate them as part of his consequence. It was no longer a bother to him. So as a humble stonecutter, he could now have control of his kingdom. He did not have to compete with anything anymore. He no longer felt less than. He was already enough. And so being enough is perfectly all right. Thank you for watching.